Good morning, Rider fans. It is about 11:20 in the morning on a very picturesque early fall kind of day, even though it's in November. We're coming to you today from the Ames ISU Ice Arena. Got the Zamboni on the ice, so I'm going to leave everyone in the lobby for a few more minutes. Once the Zam's off the ice, we'll get going with our game today. Good afternoon, Rider fans. We've got officials out on the ice. We've got the nets out on the ice, and the teams are going to be joining us very shortly. For today, we're going to see a new player playing goalie for the Rough Riders. DJ Elliott, number 10, normally plays defense, is going to be playing in net today. He's a 2014 that's been with the club for a number of years. He's rocking a very mixed set of equipment, and so he's got some black and white pads and a black helmet with some decals on it for his hat. Your riders are wearing black today. Lineups are going to be figured out once the teams line up. We've got coaches Frank and Jack on the bench today. Fans are joining in, and it's going to be a great day for hockey. We have about 70 degrees and sunny outside. It is an absolutely beautiful day for a 90-minute drive over to Ames. Thank you all for joining us. Please remember to like and subscribe. As we're going to get started playing here after our short warm-up period. Riders have been working really hard this week during practice, and they've had a word of the week that we are going to hopefully see them do today. And so that word is purpose. The team is hoping to play with a lot of purpose today, make a lot of purposeful passes, shots, and skating. So we will see how they do with that. This should be a league game, so we are likely going to be playing two 16-minute warning clock periods and then a final 12-minute stop period. Ames is coming in wearing some very bright orange jerseys. They look a little bit like construction uniforms, but they are looking incredibly sharp out there. Ames's goalie is wearing some all black pads, blocker and catcher, along with an all black helmet. All right, there's the buzzer. We are going to be getting the pucks cleaned up and get teams lined up and ready to roll. This will be the first of two games that are played today between these two teams. And so there will be a short intermission for an ice cut between games, and then we will get back going. The Cedar Rapids team played in St. Louis last weekend, ended up that tournament with an 0-3-1 record, and they are looking to improve on that today. Frank's got a few last-minute instructions for DJ as the goalie. DJ's listening very attentively. Jack's talking to the rest of the team. All right, Ames is getting out onto the ice. The Rough Riders are getting their final instructions. All right, so we got DJ starting again in net. On the forward line, we've got Gavin Sebring, centering Clara Domke and Corbin Zeck, Liam Smith and Maverick Rasmussen on D. Whistle blows, puck dropped. We have a win on the faceoff by the Riders. Player with the puck tries to pop it up to Gavin, knocked off of his stick. Liam Smith tried to get it up into the zone and unable to. Puck's now going into the Rough Riders' end. Maverick Rasmussen getting chased. Passes it up to Liam Smith onto his stick. Pressure away, tries to pass it up to Claire Domke. Gets knocked off of her stick into the corner. Gavin Sebring and Liam Smith into pressure. Puck pops out. DJ Elliott grabs it, and we've got our first frozen puck of the day. Face off coming to the goalie's left hand side. Got our second line coming out of Jack Kettleson centering Ellis Palmer and Brett Johnson. Jack loses the faceoff, but then wins the puck, tries to take it through the middle. Trying to skate through four players, isn't quite able to do it. Puck's in the corner now. Jack's putting on some really hard pressure, passes it over to Ellis Palmer. Ellis tries to pass it back to him, but falls off of his stick. To Ames. George Lanyo and Jackson Baker on D. Puck goes back in, off of Jack's feet. And to Ames. Puck goes across to the other side of the ice. Ellis Palmer tries to steal the puck and knocked off of his stick. Jackson Baker passes it across to George Lanyo. George up to Brett Johnson off of his stick. Now back to George. Into the bench area where there's a little bit of confusion. Brett Johnson with the puck on the side. Passes it across. Trying to get a centering pass off of a stick. Jackson Baker is able to grab the puck, but is not able to get it deep. Jackson Hunt now putting on some pressure. Little bit of confusion in the zone. Ames has it at the top of the zone. Cannon Donovan with the puck. Cannon is a player that used to play in Waterloo and has been a regular at the Cedar Rapids Ice Arena. Shot off of DJ's shoulder and into the net. Unfortunately, DJ's not the tallest guy, so that one went into just a little bit of a shoebox over his shoulder and into the net. Heck of a shot. All right, ensuing face-off, we've got Wyatt Monty centering Flynn Hampson and Jackson Hunt. Face-off won by Ames. Cannon bringing it into the zone against Lee Smith, takes him out wide, comes across to the other side, still has the puck, getting chased by Jackson Hunt. George Lanyo now trying to cover the puck, shot saved, and still in the zone. Wyatt tries to get it out and is able to. Ames bringing it back in. George backing up a little bit. Shot Ames goes through a screen and over DJ's shoulder again. It is now 2-0 Ames.
You're all right, Deej.
Ensuing faceoff has a Sebring line back out. Gavin's able to win the puck. Now Jackson Jerp on that line. Puck goes over to Maverick. Tries to get up to Clara. Off of a stick, but called icing. Puck's coming down to the Cedar Rapids zone. Little stoppage in play here. Face off won by Ames, up to the point. Shot into the glove and saved. Face off coming on the glove side of DJ. Face off won by Ames, goes across to the point. Claire is able to seal it. Claire has a breakaway to chasing in hard. Shot from Clara off the side of the net. Gavin Sebring trying to get the puck back, bounce back down into the corner. Clara putting on some pressure, able to steal the puck. Tries to put it into the middle, unfortunately off an Ames stick. Ames tries to clear it up, blocked by Clara, bounced around her. And now puck gets dropped in by Jackson Baker. Riders putting on pressure again. Pass goes off, but is not called icing. Ames is able to grab it behind the net. Pass up is stolen by Jack Kettleson. Knocked off of his stick. Ames coming in against George Lanyo. Pushed out to the side. Off the side of the net. Handshake. Having some contact already. Corbin Zek trying to steal the puck. Cannon in offsides for Ames. And we have a face-off. Kettleson line out there. Face-off won by Jack. Bounced over to Corbin Zek. Corbin loses the race to the puck. Still a little bit loose in the neutral zone. Jack putting on some pressure. Puck to Liam Smith. Up to Corbin Zek. Corbin trying to get it centered, but picked off by Ames. Ellis Palmer now putting on the forechecking pressure. Puck goes in. Shot blocked by George Lanyo. George is able to retrieve it behind the net. Tries to pass it up to Corbin. Corbin angles his body well to be able to angle it off and was able to get it out of the zone. Ames able to pick it up. Trying to pass it up. Jack Kettleson with a steal, but then stolen right back off of his stick. Shot again. And Ames scores.
You all right, DJ?
Puck dropped, won by Ames into their zone. Flynn Hansen putting on pressure. Passes it across. Jackson Hunt now putting on pressure. Puck is up, and Maverick Rasmussen trying to keep it in the zone, but it's offside. Puck won by the Riders, dumped into the zone. Jackson Hunt putting on some pressure off of his foot. Wyatt tried to steal off of his stick. Maverick now steps up. Tries to steal the puck, but doesn't quite get there. Puck now stolen by Jackson Hunt. Flipped toward and out of the zone. Puck across from D to D on the Ames side, coming back in on the other side. And Ames able to dance around the defender and the goalie and put it in. It is now 4-0. Ensuing face-off, won by Ames. Puck's getting further into the zone. Puck off of the post and in on a really, really nice looking shot. Puck is won by the Riders off of a stick into the zone. Off of Gavin Sebring's stick, passes it in off of Liam's stick. Tries to pass it up to Clara, but off target. Ames is able to dump it into the zone. Puck goes back out to the side. Clara able to steal it, tries to get it out of the zone, but not able to. Pass up by Liam Smith off of a stick. Back deeper into the Ames zone. George tries to clear it across off of a stick and stays into the offensive zone. Liam tries to poke it off. Gavin Sebring now with the puck, tries to reverse it right into an Ames player. Puck goes around the zone. Corbin is able to grab the puck, get it out of the zone. Some really hard pressure. Shot by Clara, partially blocked out to the side of the net. Corbin trying to knock the puck off of an Ames player's stick. Pass goes all the way into the zone from George. Has intercepted by Cannon. Shot high off the side of the net. Another shot saved by DJ. Official lost sight of it, and so puck is frozen. Ensuing face-off won by Cedar Rapids. Jack's got the puck, tries to feed it up to Ellis, but the puck doesn't quite get through. Ames skating it around the net, tries to do a backhand, saved by DJ. Puck's up to Breck Johnson, passes it over to Ellis Palmer, not able to continue the breakout play. Mavericks playing really well with keeping the defender or keeping the offensive player behind the net. Puck goes up to the center, intercepted by Ellis, and then dumped into the offensive zone to try to get some offense. Ames bringing it up again. Pass across, gotten by Gavin Sebring. Gavin skates it behind the net, trying to get things set up. Gavin's got his head up, getting some speed. Got a 3-on-2 developing. And puck is good. Puck back onto Gavin's stick, knocked off of his stick. Jack tries to move. Isn't able to pull it through. Liam is able to steal the puck off of a stick. Tries to pass it up to Ellis Palmer, but off of his stick. Jack Pettleson comes in, battling with Hannon Donovan. And now we've got a penalty for hooking on Ames. Cedar Rapids is going to be going on a power play. Puck drops. Faceoff is won by Jack Pettleson. Loses the puck. Still in the offensive zone. Puck gets bounced out. Maverick Rasmussen's playing the 2-on-1. Puck goes across, and they are able to shut it off. Puck's in the corner with the Ames player. Cedar Rapids is able to pull it out. Maverick skating with the puck. Got a 3-on-2 going the other way. Puck's into the zone. Tries to get a shot off of the goalie's pad. Gavin Sebring with the puck in the corner. Isn't able to navigate all of the sticks. Puck into the zone. Maverick Rasmussen angles off an Ames player. Corbin flings the puck up out of the zone. Ames is going to regroup shorthanded. Ames coming in on a breakaway. And they score shorthanded. Ensuing face-off, Cedar Rapids is able to win the face-off, but ends up losing possession. Ames skating in. Shot blocked by George Lanyo. Shot again. Off of the goalie's pads. Bounced it up to the point. Puck now back in the corner. Race between George and the Ames player for it. Up to Jackson Hunt. Jackson tries to navigate through some sticks. Isn't able to. Jackson now on a slight breakaway with the person coming out of the box. We are now full strength. Ames able to break it up out of the zone. Liam has a little trouble with the puck, is able to then start skating it forward, lose it in some skates. Jackson Griff tries to bring it in a little bit deeper and has it knocked off of his stick, tries to knock it deeper, off of Ames player. Puck is a little bit stuck in the corner there. Puck is just out of the zone and offside Cedar Rapids. Have the Kettleson line coming back out, along with Gavin Sebring and Maverick Rasmussen. Puck is dropped, and Ames wins it. Breck putting on some back-checking pressure. Shot saved by DJ. Pass from D to D behind the net. Maverick with a pass that ends up going down for icing. And looks like we have a goalie change on the Cedar Rapids side. Jackson Baker now in net. Face off one for Cedar Rapids. Gavin scooting it behind the net. Up to Ellis Palmer. Ellis able to try to navigate his way through, but not able to at this point. Ames bringing it back in. Shot on net. Saved by Baker. Ellis Palmer with the puck. Passes up to Jack Kettleson off of his stick. Pass intercepted by Ames. Maverick Rasmussen trying to close off the puck. Able to knock it off of the Ames player's stick. Breck putting on some pressure as well. The Ames player and Gavin Sebring kind of collided in the corner. Ellis comes in, trying to be a third man in. Gavin Sebring able to knock the puck off of the stick. Ellis knocks it harder, down for an icing. Face off won by the Roughriders into the corner. Ames able to knock it off of the stick. Puck shot it behind. Bounced around to Clara Domke. Ooh. Clara gets what looks like an elbow to the head, but nothing called. Puck comes back around. Liam able to use his body well to try to get the puck out. Puck's now back deep. Corbin in a race for it along with George Lanyo. George pops it around the net. Clara going down deep to try to get it. Gets her stick stuck a little bit into the boards. Jackson Jerp with the puck. He's got a 1-on-3 going on. Corbin Zek applying the forward-checking pressure. Clara trying to clean it off, but doesn't quite happen. Cedar Rapids able to break up a cross slot pass. Jackson Hunt with the puck, knocked off of his foot. And that is the end of your first period. All right, everybody, we're going to be back for the second period. It was a very rough first period for your Rough Riders. Definitely came out of the gate a little bit on the slow side, so we're hoping that after that first period, things are going to get a lot better for this team. Goalies are ready, referees are ready, and we have a face-off won by your Riders. Bounced off the Corbin's X stick, and then bounced further in by Ames. Maverick has possession of the puck, tries to clear it up, is off of a stick, and back to Ames in the neutral zone. Play still kind of cluttered up in the neutral zone. Ames is able to get it into the zone. Coming up against Maverick. Maverick's able to steal the puck off, tries to bounce it around an Ames player, able to do that. Tries to pass it up, but slightly knocked off of Ames' stick and not able to connect. Puck off of Ames' stick, and Gavin Sebring's able to start skating it up. Gavin tries a shot, blocked in behind the net. Clara putting on a forecheck. Puck is now to Ames. Wolbenzek, though, is trying to get possession of the puck. Had a little trouble with the official. Puck comes just out of the zone. Puck comes across to Liam Smith. Liam's got a little bit of time. Tries to bring it up to Clara Domke. Pressure on her right away. Puck gets shot and in. Kettleson line out there. One of the D didn't get the note to come onto the ice. So we're having a slight delay. Face off won by your Riders to Breck Johnson. Breck tries to put it back to the D. Now up to Jack Kettleson, knocked off of his stick. Breck is putting on some good back pressure, was able to pressure the Ames player out to the corner. Puck's on Jack Kettleson's stick right now. Tries to look across, but there's a lot of Ames players in the way. Breck Johnson with the puck and an offside. DJ Elliott is returned onto the ice, getting the door all closed, and he's going to be very likely joining the defensive core. Doesn't get even able to come to the bench, and he's already out having to play D. Face off won by Ames. Puck knocked off of some sticks, and Ames is able to get it back and regroup into the neutral zone. Puck knocked in off of Maverick Rasmussen. DJ gets it into the corner, is able to press the puck against the boards. Some pressure coming in. Rough Riders able to get it out of the zone. Jackson Hunt putting on the forechecking pressure. Puck goes up to Ames. He's got a 3-on-2 coming in. Puck goes across and knocked off his stick and saved by Jackson Baker. Face off won by Ames over to the corner. Cedar Rapids loses the race to get to the puck. Puck's now into the bottom. Good third man in use. Gavin Sebring able to wing the puck. Starts skating it out. Passes up to Clara Domke. Off of her stick, though. Corbin Zek checked a little bit. No call. Shot blocked off of Gavin Sebring's pads into the corner. Pass into the middle. Now blocked off of the corner. Got a little bit of hacking and whacking going on in front of the net. Gavin Sebring able to steal the puck. Ames gets it up to the point. Ames now has it in the corner. Cedar Rapids trying to pressure the puck to get it. Shot over the net. Clara Domke over to apply some pressure to the point. Pass a little bit off to George Lanyo. Person on them was really tight. Corbin Zek tries to get the puck in. Corbin's got a half a chance, not able to quite get it in. Ames is able to start breaking it out. Ames coming in on a slight breakaway, but Cedar Rapids able to make the most of trying to get it. Puck cleared out by Ellis Palmer and icing. Kettleson's in for the face-off. Puck knocked over to DJ in the middle. Tried to get it back out. Not quite able to connect. Shot gets on. Initial shot is saved by Baker. DJ tried to clear up the rebound, but wasn't quite able to get the stick tied up well enough, and the puck bounced in over Jackson's shoulder. Ensuing faceoff has the Kettleson line with Palmer and Johnson. Puck is just kind of sitting there. Ames is able to come out with it. Palmer then is able to steal it, knocks it into the zone, and no icing on this one. Puck stolen by Jack Kettleson. Tries to bring it behind the net. And then we've got a penalty coming on Ames for a cross check. Face-off won by Ames out of the zone. Corbin Zek on defense. Retrieves the puck. Got some pressure right away. Tries to pass it up off of an Ames player. Ames able to get it back into the zone. Some nifty hands. Tries to then pass it up to Clara Domke. Off of some skates. Corbin Zek trying to retrieve and get a breakout started. But it is just finding a lot of Ames sticks right now. Pass goes back to to Corbin behind the net, up to Maverick Rasmussen, tries to get it up to Clara, off of some sticks into the offensive zone. Gavin Sebring on the floor checking pressure. Clara skates in to try to steal the puck, then off of a stick to Maverick Rasmussen, shoots it in on net, off of the goalie into the corner. Jack's then able to get the puck, and we're going to have another penalty coming up. Going to have a 5-on-3 scenario here. All right, face off. It goes into the corner. Off of some sticks, and DJ's chasing it back into the zone. Pass it across to Liam Smith. Liam tries to get it up. Knocked down. DJ's now having a battle on the side. Puck goes to Jackson Hunt. Jackson tries to get it out of the zone. Puck coming back in from Ames. Shot from Ames. Able to get it in. Face off 1 to Liam Smith on the wing. Tries to get it in off of a stick. Jackson Hunt tries to shoot it in off of the goalie's pad. Jackson Durf able to try to get a rebound, but off of the goalie. Ames bring it in, shot, and score. We are all back even up now. Puck goes back, missed by Maverick. Jackson Hunt with the puck, flings it into the zone, off the goalie into the corner. Liam Smith in pursuit. Pass goes up, and then Gavin Sebring able to steal the puck, trying to skate it up, but too many other sticks in the way. Oh, big collision between Maverick Rasmussen and an Ames player. No call at this point. Jackson Hunt passes it up, and the puck comes in and saved by Jackson Baker. Puck is dropped. Face off is 1 to Ames. Bounced off of their stick and into the zone, or into the neutral zone. Cedar putting in pressure, but having a hard time getting some bounces. George able to start skating it in. Player about in the same spot. And then we've got a collision against the boards. And puck goes in. Got a little bit of a breakaway coming. Shot that is saved by Baker. Player is able to get it. Tries to bounce it up to George Lanyo off of his stick. And puck's coming again. And now we're going to have a penalty on Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids on the penalty kill here. Puck is 1-2 Cedar Rapids. Brett Johnson's got the puck, skates it out, tries to pass it up to Gavin Sebring. And Ames player able to get in the way and turn off that chance. Puck coming back up, stolen by Jack Kettleson. Able to skate it in, but knocked off of his stick. Puck coming back out. Ames not quite able to keep it into the zone. They need to regroup. Corbin Zek putting on some pressure. Shot and loose, and then in the net. Face off is 1-2 Ames. Ames able to skate it in. Shot goes off of Maverick's pads. Morgan has it down below the net. And we've got another collision behind the net. Jackson Hunt with the puck, tries to bounce it up. Pass goes up to Ellis Palmer, but off of his stick, now behind the net. Ames tries to shoot it up, but blocked. Ames gets it down in deep. Puck tries to go back out to the center. Ellis Palmer throws it down the ice on a hope play. Jackson Hunt able to win the race, flings the puck towards the net, and nobody else is there. Ames getting it behind their net, trying to get some speed for a breakout. Comes in on the outside, starts trying to skate it toward the net, shoots it past the net. Ellis Palmer trying to put on some pressure to steal the puck. Puck comes across the zone. Maverick Rasmussen first on it. Picks his head up, tries to bounce it past everyone. Puck's rolling. Jackson Hunt is not quite first to it. Jack tries to put it in, but no dice today. Ames feeding it back in. Puck's now in the corner. Tried for a shot that ended up behind the net. Puck's up to the point. Jackson Hunt put it on some pressure. Jackson steals the puck. We've got a 2-on-1 coming. Jackson tries to shoot it and ends up putting it into the defender. Ames tries for a long breakout pass, but it doesn't connect. Maverick Rasmussen is not going to be able to get to it before it becomes an icing. Face off won by Ames into the corner. Skating the puck out, tries to get a pass across, misses everybody. Over to Gavin Sebring. Gavin skating it behind the net. Pass goes up to Corbin Zach. Knocked off of his stick, though. Liam Smith putting on some pressure. Now Claire Domke is able to somewhat steal the puck. Now it is Corbin. Corbin and Liam coming in on a 2-on-2. Puck over to Liam. Shot gets blocked. Second shot also blocked behind the net. Liam tries to put it out front, puts it off the back net instead. Long outlet pass, misses everybody, and ends up as an icing. $20 left in the period. Petalson line is out there for this faceoff, won by Ames. Ames tries to send a pass up, off of some bodies. Jack tries to bring it in, but off of some sticks. Glenn Hansen working hard trying to get the puck back. Ames able to then break it out. And that is after the buzzer. And we are into the second intermission. Goalie getting a few equipment repairs while we are in the intermission here. Just waiting now for the time to run out on the intermission before we have our third period. Scoreline looks a bit wobbly, but your Riders are going to come back and try to make this third period theirs. Just waiting for the Riders to come off the bench. All right, looks like we're going to have Kettleson, Johnson, and Palmer out, along with Elliott and Sebring. Baker in net. And ensuing face-off is control ends up with Cedar Rapids, up to Breck Johnson. Tries a pass up to Jack Kettleson. DJ comes over, tries to get a quick stick in, able to get the puck knocked off and break up the rough. Jack Kettleson with the puck. Puck is really sticking on those Ames Flyers skates today. Ames wins the race to the corner for the puck. Flyers are battling for the puck. Gavin Sebring comes in, is able to steal it. Gavin starting up the rush, passes it up to Jack Kettleson. Jack's got the puck and maybe a little bit of space for the first time today. Jack tries to put a backhand pass through, but not enough mustard on it, and so it gets stolen. Ames coming back in. Puck shot off the goalie save into the corner. Ellis with the puck tries to then bounce it out. George able to help get the puck out to Breck Johnson. Puck off of George's skates and down into the area behind the net. George putting on the forechecking pressure. Maverick tries to steal. Puck comes into the zone and offside Ames. Face off going to come down a little bit deeper since the pass was from in the middle of the neutral zone. Face off won by Ames. Ames brings it back deeper into their defensive zone. Wyatt Monte's putting on some pressure. Puck is off of a Cedar Rapids stick over to DJ Elliott. Tries to pass it in, but they're still in the zone, so offside Riders. Ensuing face-off with Jerf in the dot. Puck down, 1-2 DJ Elliott. DJ put it over to Wyatt, and then things got cluttered up at the blue line. Ames player able to skate it around, tried to shoot it in off of Baker's pad into the corner. Gavin Sebring able to then steal the puck, able to knock it up to Wyatt Monte. Wyatt takes a look, tries to pass it over off of a stick, and doesn't connect. Ames back in, tries to pass it in over to Gavin Sebring, tries to put it back to DJ Elliott, wasn't quite ready for it. And Ames has it behind the net, off of some skates. And Jackson Jerk trying to skate it out, able to get through all of the traffic. Stuck in his skates now into the goalie. And we have a face-off coming to the goalie's left side. Face-off won by Cedar Rapids. Try to get a pass across the blue line, but doesn't quite make it. Offside, Cedar Rapids. Ensuing face-off won by Ames. Puck goes up, and then Ames dumps it in deep. And we have play on, the officials say. Puck's behind the net. Maverick Rasmussen trying to keep them out to the side. Tries to speed it up, but off of his stick. Now off, and then shot on net, saved by Baker. Corbin tries to grab the puck, but knocked off of his stick. Ames passes it out of their zone. Now Ames coming right back in. And we got What probably could have been a trick, but no call this time. Puck's coming back out. Claire's first to it. Corbinzek now has it, skating it into the zone. In a 3-on-1 situation, puck gets knocked at his stick. And now puck's still stuck on the corner. Now dumped deeper into the zone. Liam Smith starting the forecheck. And now Clara Donkey starting the forecheck. Puck back out. Stolen by DJ Elliott and offside. Face off won by Cedar Rapids. Try to dump it into the zone. Puck comes back to Ames as they're bringing it into the zone on the rush. DJ Elliott putting on some pressure. Pass back up to the point. Shot blocked by DJ. Up to Jackson Hunt and out of the zone. Jackson putting on some pressure. Pass goes across back into the middle. Ames able to shoot it off the side of the net. Gavin Sebring putting on some pressure. Puck goes over the net and into the other corner. Pass blocked by DJ. Tries to pass it out to Jackson Hunt, but nothing there. Puck goes kind of through the crease. It's really hard to see what was all going on. Jackson Hunt now has a shot at net, saved by the goalie. Jackson Jerf out taking the face-off, along with Breck Johnson and Wyatt Monty. George Landio and Maverick Rasmussen on D. Face-off, he goes back to the goalie. Goalie puts it out, trying to keep the puck in play. Ames is now trying to break it out. Ames coming into the zone, able to get in with an odd man rush. Nice move, but doesn't get a shot off. And puck is saved. Another shot on net that ends up getting saved. Breck able to bring it out of the zone into the neutral zone to kind of start the play over. Jackson Grove putting on a forecheck. Now over to this side, and Wyatt Monty is coming into the zone. George Landio able to steal, tries to pass it up to Wyatt. Wyatt gets it up to Breck. Breck gets a little bit of a self pass, gets it into the zone. Knocked off of his stick. Puck goes across. And Ames is able to bring it in, saved by the goalie. And Maverick Rasmussen with the puck, tries to pass it up off of a stick. Maverick then clears it down for an icing. 3 minutes left in the third period here. Puck dropped, one over to DJ Elliott, passed over to Flynn Hansen. 3-on-2 situation for the Riders if they hurry. Puck goes over to Corbin Zek. Gives a shot toward the net, but isn't able to get it in. DJ is able to try to break up the rush. Is able to slow it down a little bit, but not able to stop it. Puck knocked off of a stick. Ames able to keep it in. DJ wrestling with a couple of bigger players in front of the net, but Gavin Sebring's able to steal it behind the net. Gavin with a nice turn. Tries to pass it up to Flynn Hansen. Flynn is able to use the body and help angle off. Clara in. Whoa! Clara gets bodied straight off of the puck. No call. DJ with a good steal. Able to rush it in. Looking for a little bit of contact. Puck coming back in. Off of George's skate. Able to knock it back behind the net. Puck now behind the net again. George skating it, able to use his hands to make a nice move. Skates into the zone. Shot over the net and saved. Puck out to DJ Elliott. 3 in quick. DJ's able to pass it up to Flynn Hansen. Flynn doesn't quite get a race to it, though. Puck's now back over to Ames. Ames trying to bring it in. Liam Smith able to step over and stop the rush. Maverick has it trapped up against the boards. Getting it around the net a little bit. Passes it to Liam Smith. Misses the stick, and we have an icing. Face-off is won by Ames. Almost a shot on net, but Gavin Sebring able to block it. Gavin skating it up. Got a 3-on-2 situation happening here. Gavin skates it to the middle. Shot misses the net. Both Liam and Jack Peddleston end up behind the net. Jack with the puck now, tries to stop and go, but knocked off of his stick. Puck's over to Gavin Sebring. Gavin winds it up again, takes a shot off of the goalie's blocker. Jack Peddleston in on the forward check. Jack able to steal it. Tries to knock it to himself. And Jack tripped a little bit, but no call here. Liam over trying to provide some pressure. Puck's coming up into the zone. Puck now dropped in and around by Ames. Maverick Rasmussen getting chased. Maverick and another player have a collision. Looks like that's going to get called. And we are going to get a very, very late body check call that is going to be not served as we are having a final here. We are hoping for a much better game, too. Thank you, everyone, for joining on the stream. Please remember to like and subscribe. We'll be starting up the next stream here in a few minutes. Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this one.